Hi and welcome. I'm Andy Miocha and you are watching A News. Here are the headlines. Biden signs stopgap funding bill averting government shutdown. U.S. military conducts airstrikes on Houthi targets in Yemen, mistakenly shoots down own fighter jet. Former Assad forces surrender weapons in Damascus. Thank you for tuning in. The White House has announced that President Joe Biden signed a stopgap funding bill into law, extending government funding into March and avoiding a shutdown. The Democratic-controlled Senate, in an 85-11 vote, passed the bill to continue government funding 38 minutes after it expired at midnight. The package had earlier cleared the Republican-controlled House of Representatives with bipartisan support, defying President-elect Donald Trump's demand to also greenlight trillions of dollars in new debt. The U.S. said it carried out a series of airstrikes against a missile storage site and command facilities in the Yemeni capital Sana'a, operated by the Iran-backed Houthi group. U.S. Central Command added it also hit multiple Houthi drones and an anti-ship cruise missile. After these strikes, an American fighter jet has been shot down over the Red Sea in an apparent friendly fire incident, the U.S. military has said. Both crewmen from the FA-18 Hornet ejected safely, with one suffering minor injuries, according to Central Command. 4 people were killed in southwest Turkey when an ambulance helicopter collided with a hospital building and crashed into the ground. The helicopter was taking off from the Mughla Training and Research Hospital, carrying 2 pilots, a doctor and another medical worker, the health ministry said in a statement. No one inside the building or on the ground was hurt. The cause of the accident is being investigated. A man accused of murdering 4 women and a 9-year-old boy by driving a car into them at a Christmas market in the German city of Magdeburg has been remanded in custody. Meanwhile, people are paying tribute to the victims with flowers and candles.
This is the moment a car plowed through a crowd at a Christmas market in Germany's city of Magdeburg. Officials have detained the suspected driver, who they've identified as a 50-year-old man from Saudi Arabia, and believe it was a deliberate attack.
The perpetrator has been arrested. He entered the Federal Republic of Germany for the first time in 2006. He had a settlement permit and thus a permanent residence permit, and had last worked as a doctor in Bernburg. According to our current knowledge, he acted as a lone offender. There is no information about other perpetrators.
Social media accounts believed to be linked to the suspect show posts threatening to punish German authorities for what the user claims are a series of deliberate crimes against Saudi refugees. Locals who were present during the incident say the aftermath was chaotic, but are grateful for the response of the rescue teams.
I myself was there very early yesterday because I'm from Magdeburg, and I also experienced this chaos, where first of all was a matter of sorting things out, and that does something to you. Of course, it gets to you, and we also need to process things, and thankfully we have a good network and are also there to provide aftercare for rescue workers and firefighters and support them in the aftermath. So the real work starts now.
Germany's Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, has visited the scene and says the attack is a terrible act. Scholz also calls for an investigation into the matter.
It is now important that we clarify the situation and that this is done with the utmost precision and accuracy. Nothing must remain uninvestigated, and that is how it will be. We've assured each other of this everywhere, the federal government with the states, with all those who have local responsibility here. And of course, we must understand the perpetrator, his actions, his motives, so that we can respond with the necessary criminal and other consequences, and we will.
Other statements from officials, including Germany's foreign minister and interior minister, have all expressed their condolences to the victims and pledged to stand with the people of Magdeburg. World leaders from France, Italy, Spain, and Poland have also reacted to the tragic incident and expressed their deep condolences to those affected. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen expressed similar remarks in statements on social media. This attack follows a similar incident in 2016 in Germany's capital, Berlin, where a truck driven by a failed Tunisian asylum seeker crashed into a crowded Christmas market, killing 12 people. The Magdeburg attack has prompted several other German towns to cancel their weekend Christmas markets as a precaution and out of solidarity for Magdeburg's loss.
Over in Mayotte, in the aftermath of Cyclone Chido, the French island territory faces severe food and water shortages. In the capital, residents queuing for water urged President Emmanuel Macron for more aid.
Although days have passed since the cyclone struck Mayotte, people are still experiencing the tragic consequences of the natural disaster. In Mamoudzou, the capital of Mayotte, some neighborhoods have been reduced to ruins. Aid distribution has been slow, leaving many in a desperate situation. Local residents have lined up outside the city's supermarket to obtain water.
We've been here since 10 a.m. to get water because water is very important and getting only one pack of bottles is not enough.
Healthcare workers have reported that they are preparing for an increase in diseases due to the presence of unburied bodies and the difficulties people are facing in accessing clean drinking water. The situation in Mayotte remains dire after Cyclone Chido. President Macron arrived in Mayotte on Thursday and was met with an angry reception in the city of Pamandzi. Residents shouted and booed, accusing the government of failing to respond promptly to the crisis.
We don't understand what he came to do. In fact, I heard someone on TV say that he could have taken a postcard. That would have been enough. I don't understand. I did not expect anything. I did not expect anything from him, and it did not fail.
Cyclone Chido is the worst storm the area has faced in 90 years. Mayotte officials have only been able to confirm 31 deaths. However, some are concerned that thousands of people may have been killed. The most affected neighborhoods, the hillside shanty towns, have still not been reached by rescue workers.
I think it's a shame that a president came to a territory in a situation like this to address the population this way, because I don't think it's just Mayotte that has suffered the situation. There are several people who have suffered this disaster, and yet they have managed to get through it without France being there.
The population struggling to cope with the scale of the disaster in Mayotte, the poorest of France's overseas territories, targeted him.
With all the promises he'd made to us about Mayotte that he'd never kept, I was really shocked.
According to the official 2023 budget documents, the French government spent approximately 1.6 billion euros per year on Mayotte, which accounts for about 8% of the budget allocated to overseas territories, or 4,900 euros per inhabitant. This figure is 7,200 euros for residents of Réunion Islands and 8,500 euros for residents of Guadeloupe.
Meanwhile, Macron has sparked fresh controversy with remarks on Mayotte. In an interview following his visit to the cyclone-hit territory, Macron said that some people in the crowd had been insulting France. His comments come after a tense exchange with locals and boos he received.
During his visit to Mayotte on Thursday, Macron told residents, "You are happy to be in France. If it wasn't for France, you would be in way deeper shit, 10,000 times more. There is no place in the Indian Ocean where people receive more help." His remarks were met with jeers from the crowd. Macron's off-the-cuff remarks sparked backlash at home, with opposition lawmakers accusing him of being insensitive and condescending. This latest controversy adds to a growing list of public statements over his 7 years as president that have drawn sharp criticism and contributed to a significant drop in his popularity.
Hundreds of Israeli protesters took to the streets of Tel Aviv, demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his government. Demonstrators say they're fed up with what they call terrible decisions.
In Tel Aviv, large crowds gathered, waving Israeli flags and holding placards calling for a new government. Protesters chanted and drummed, creating a colourful and powerful scene in the city square. Among them was Amit Shurin, who joined the demonstration with his daughters. Holding a sign criticising both Justice Minister Yariv Levin and Sarah Netanyahu, Shurin expressed frustration.
We're here today to demonstrate against the terrible Israeli government that makes terrible decisions about our future.
Another protester, Yove Poor, said they released balloons with pictures of government officials, symbolizing their wish for them to leave office.
What we're doing here, we are having each one of the government member on a balloon, and we want to make them fly away high above the air, high in the air, high above the earth. We don't want them anymore here. Their time is up. We are sick of them. We want a new government, a responsible government that can take care of the citizen and the population of Israel.
The protest comes amid Netanyahu's corruption trial, and as sources suggest, the Prime Minister may soon agree to a ceasefire with Hamas to end the 14-month-long Gaza war. Demonstrators say leadership change is essential for Israel's future.
In Syria, former security forces of the ousted President Bashar al-Assad are handing over their weapons to the new authorities and getting their temporary papers.
Former Syrian security forces are queuing up to hand over their weapons and receive temporary settlement cards from the country's de facto authority, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. These security forces served under the former president, Bashar al-Assad, who was ousted by a rebel group that has taken control of the country. Now they return state-issued valuables, among other items, as part of a reconciliation process, aiming to reintegrate Assad's forces in the new Syria.
Today, I came to settle my army situation, as there is a new page in the country now. God willing, we hope that Commander Ahmed al-Shara will be by our side, hand in hand, and that he will forgive the entire country for everything it has been through, because we have been through a lot of difficult circumstances.
Participants received temporary cards, valid for 3 months, while their status is reviewed. The new authorities say those without criminal charges will be allowed to resume normal civilian life.
This is a settlement center for settling the status of security personnel, army personnel, and recruits affiliated with the remnants of the former regime. Those who come to the center here hand over their covenant, weapons, and valuable belongings to the Syrian state, and they're given a temporary card for 3 months. The future is subject to the leadership's decision, of course. Those who did not shed our blood will live a normal life like any citizen, but those who are legally liable and those who have cases will of course face the judiciary and the competent courts.
Research carried out by the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons suggests that Assad's government is responsible for many atrocities as it tried to tackle political dissent, with the use of chemical weapons in rebel areas that killed dozens of civilians.
Over in India, New Delhi is grappling with severe pollution. Residents of the capital are voicing concerns about how the hazardous air quality is taking a toll on their health.
Every year in the winter season, severe pollution occurs in New Delhi from the cold weather and smoke coming from the farm fires set off illegally in the agricultural states of Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh. Toxic fog is seen throughout the town, causing slow traffic and low visibility. Residents report breathing difficulties and problems with their sight.
I feel a burning sensation in my eyes and I keep coughing and running out of breath. It has gotten worse in the last 2 or 3 days.
The Swiss air company IQ Air labeled the pollution levels as, quote, hazardous, with the air quality index figure reaching 410.
In the world of sports, Ukraine's Alexander Usyk retained his 3 world heavyweight titles by unanimous decision against Britain's Tyson Fury to remain undefeated after a clash at the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh. Giving up advantages in height, weight and reach to his much bigger opponent, Usyk fought superbly throughout to win 116-112 on all 3 judges' scorecards, as he again defeated Fury after his success in May made him the undisputed champion. Santa Claus takes his holiday spirit underwater in Brazil, diving with fish and sharks at Rio de Janeiro's Aquário. The submerged scenery was complete with a Christmas tree and lights.
At Rio de Janeiro's Aquário, Scuba Santa delighted audiences by swimming with over 2,000 fish, including sharks and stingrays. Dressed in his classic red suit and flippers, Santa waved to visitors, fed marine life, and even blew bubble kisses from inside the tank. A large submerged Christmas tree and twinkling lights added to the holiday magic, captivating young visitors.
It's very nice. He even feeds the fish, which is already nice. So imagine here in the aquarium.
It's an unbelievable experience. Many people say that Santa Claus only comes on the roof and he comes from the roof. And seeing him in the aquarium is extraordinary.
Brazil's annual Scuba Santa tradition creates unforgettable memories for families, blending the magic of Christmas with the wonder of marine life.
Well, that's all we have for you for now. Thank you for tuning in and keep watching A News.